Good evening, race fans. Welcome to the Gore Racing Network. Tonight, the UCRL Top Gun Cup is back in action here, and we're at the 1 mile concrete oval of Dover. And Miles the Monster certainly going to be out in full force here tonight, as those of you that tuned in on Friday night to see the Redline Racing guys tackle this track with the Gen 4 cars. This one's going to be probably a little bit similar. These guys certainly have a lot of talent, and we're hoping to see maybe just a one caution race here tonight again, or maybe none. Maybe these guys can surprise us. But I mean, Dover is a track that can certainly again reach out and bite you at just about any moment. Coming off of turn 2, coming off of turn 4, very treacherous no matter what kind of car you're in. So we'll see how the guys here at UCRL handle the 1 mile concrete track. Carl Hammer joined in the booth with Jimmy Cover here tonight. Jimmy, I'm a big fan of Dover here. It's over a mile. It's I think it's like what, 1.02 miles, so it's not a short track. What are your thoughts?
Well, personally, Carl, I've been to this track a good 3 or 4 times. Actually watch real life racing here, and probably some of the best racing that you can watch. And I don't think we'll be any different here, even in the virtual world, as the UCRL guys tackle this thing. It's high speed, high banked, the concrete like you talked about. So it's gonna be a lot about conserving that right front tire, as this league does do full tanks of gas. So they can be out there at an extremely long period of time. So we're going to try to see if they can do these, get a stop underneath the green and see how it works out, because there is a little bit of pit strategy here, as it is only 1 mile.
Yeah, if these guys can manage making it the entire fuel stint under green, I don't know if that right front's going to really hold it. I mean, you can save tires as much as you want, but I mean, Dover's track is going to eat up tires regardless, especially with it being concrete. It loves especially eating up that right front. But these guys usually have a good setup, obviously provided by Scott Bolster week in and week out, and usually tries to kind of free up that back end a little bit. So hopefully that'll keep the right front from just scorching here tonight, and be a little bit more like their other Tuesday series, the Fire Breathers, the Fire Breathers Cup. But yeah, I mean, it's certainly going to take some patience. These guys can't just go out there and drive this thing hard unless it's something that they're expecting completely different here from what we're seeing in practice. I mean, everybody pretty much handling these cars in practice. You see the entire field separated by just barely over a second over the 17 guys that have taken time so far. So a great job by these guys, and it should put up some great racing. But you can't get too aggressive, you can't get too greedy, or the tires are going to come back and bite you really quick. But we are on race number 10 of the season here, and that means we got tonight and then 5 more to go. So getting to the 2/3 mark here after tonight's race, and it's been all Andrew Ratcliffe at the top, and no surprise, he's been a dominant force so far this season, winning 5 races out of the first 9, and taking a top 10 in every race, and only missing a top 5 in one of them. So it's pretty hard to kind of beat up on that kind of dominance right there. And realistically, if these guys want any shot at catching Ratcliffe, they're going to need to put in some special performances the rest of the season, and really hope that 24 team slips up a bit.
Yeah, Andrew is pretty consistent on pretty much any track he goes to, even some of the ones that he says he doesn't favor too much. He has a natural talent with these cars and getting them around here, and a real good feel of how these types of cars get around here, and it really shows. Even the Gen 4s, when I race with him on the track, or I should say try to follow him, he just gets around here. He's able to say he is one of those people that can save them tires, drive the right line that needs to be driven, and put himself up towards the front or in the lead. So yeah, these guys will want to get a good qualification, get him to the back where he's going to want to push that car to the front as fast as possible. He's obviously one of them guys. He's got a lot of talent, a lot of speed, and he wants to get to the front early and not let these guys kind of hinder his ability to kind of pull away. But right now, the guy out front is Tommy Ryan with a provisional pole over Justin Kirby. So we're right now kind of watching Andrew Ratcliffe as he's warming up, trying to get his qualification laps in, as these guys have a little bit over 3 minutes left. 10 people with times on the board so far. So right now it's Tommy Ryan, Justin Kirby, Andrew Ratcliffe coming in at third right there. JP Phillips, Trevor Hunt, Grady Gherkin, Jake Less, Jeff Ryan, Peter Pazuchek, Scott Bolster, Tim Glass, and Mark Thomas all got times in so far. So looking real good right now, Carl, and still within that 1 second mark.
Yeah, and getting back to the standings, obviously, as I mentioned, Andrew Ratcliffe top of the board. So you got Grady Gherkin, Eric Jeffers, Jacob Lesh, and Tim Glass, your top 5. And then you got Justin Kirby, Stuart Alford, Peter Pazuchek, Scott Bolster, and Brent Kirby rounding out your top 10. But as big of a lead as Andrew Ratcliffe has in the individual standings, as he comes in here tonight with a 166-point lead over his teammate Grady Gherkin, that's where it's an even bigger advantage right now, as we did see the Black Magic Motorsports step up a little bit a couple weeks ago and try and eat into that deficit, but the team standings right now being absolutely dominated by Turn and Burn Racing, as they are up by almost 1,200 points, as they got 43-30 to Full Throttle Motorsports having 31.71, but closing in on second place is Black Magic Motorsports, as they are only 6 points behind coming in here tonight. But I mean, for Turn and Burn Racing, you can't really get much better than first, second, fourth, and fifth in the individual standings, and that's probably going to put you at the top of the team standings.
Yeah, I mean, performance overall, the team is doing a great job. Probably sharing some information on how to get around here. We've talked to Andrew, Ratcliffe in the past, and he said, how he was able to dial his car in a little bit better because, his team was sharing just simple things like brake bias. So maybe a little bit here if the teams have gotten out and practiced a little bit. Maybe they got the brake bias set up. They know when they should be letting off, how tire wear is going, and maybe even how long they should go on fuel, or maybe sharing some pit strategies to kind of work with each other to get around here. As I said, this track is very high speed, high banked, and it can cause a lot of action or not action, depending on how these guys get around each other.
Well, and you talk about the teammates working together, maybe a little bit of teammate action going on these last couple weeks for Black Magic Motorsports. We talked about their success a couple weeks ago. Right now, success in the qualifying, as well as they are sitting in P1, 2, 4, and 6, as you got Tommy Ryan at the front, Justin Kirby in second, Brett Kirby in fourth, and then Trevor Hunt in sixth. So pretty good showing so far for the Black Magic Motorsports team. They do have your points leader kind of smack dab in the middle of them up there, so gonna need to do a little bit of work to kind of evade that 24. But I mean, I'm looking forward to a great race here. Again, getting back to the race last Friday, second last race of the season for the Red Line Racing crew, and they put on a great performance here with the Gen 4s, which are not exactly easy. These 87s are not the fairest of cars and the best of times, but again, Scott Bolster helping these guys out to give them a racy car like usual. But we are now officially done with qualifying. We got our 17 car order here for tonight. Jimmy, give us a rundown.
Yeah, final rundown for starting will be Tommy Ryan on the pole with Justin Kirby on the outside, then Andrew Ratcliffe, Brent Kirby, JP Phillips, Trevor Hunt, Grady Gherkin, Jake Less, Jeff Ryan, Peter Pazuchek, Scott Bolster, Mark Thomas, Tim Glass, Stuart Alford, Eric Jiffers, Randy Yoakum, and Scott Hillsman. And I believe Randy and Scott are new drivers that have joined UCRL here tonight for their inaugural race. I don't think those names are familiar with me. So let's see if these gentlemen here have some skills that can show these guys, maybe give Andrew Ratcliffe a run for his money.
I was kind of thinking to myself earlier today about I'm a fan of the Phillies, and that they're out there playing Chicago right now, and Chicago is one of the areas right now dealing with some more of the smoke from the wildfires up there in Canada, and just thinking maybe we need to start calling Spider-Man Peter Pazuchek Canadian Smoke, as it looked like he was going to make it true. As when I popped in here and I was watching for a while, he was top of the boards in practice. I'm like, all right, here we go. we got a chance at a new nickname. But Spider-Man doing a good job this season, and sitting right now in 10th place as one of our 2 Canadian drivers here in the field, Stuart Alford being the other one back there in 14th. But we are all set. 150 laps on tap here, and this thing is going to be wild. It's going to be very interesting, and I mean, I'm wondering how this thing's going to play out. Again, it's really going to be a lot of chess games, I think, being played here, and who's going to push, when are they going to push, and it's all kind of going to be dictated by how aggressive these drivers are. It's kind of funny saying that, but how aggressive you're going to play is how aggressive everybody else is going to play. So, you know, if everybody is just nice and cautious, that's kind of how everybody else needs to be. If you have that one guy that's pushing, and you know, you have several accidents, it just leads to more guys wanting to push harder and harder, because you know it's less time that you're going to have under green flag conditions.
Yeah, and you know, overall, I mean, 150 laps here at Dover. The laps are so fast. You know, if these guys could put this thing together full green, this thing will be over in a blink of an eye. So you really gotta, like I said, get themselves settled in, find out where they need to be, manage their tires and you know, fuel mileage here, and see if they can when they're gonna pit and how they're gonna get around. But pace car is in. We're getting ready to go green here, Carl.
Yep, the green flag is in the hands of Barney as he's going to get this thing fired off, and we are now green flag racing here at Dover. A good start from Tommy Ryan on the inside, but also a pretty good start there from Justin Kirby on the outside. Brent Kirby trying to follow suit and get around for third, but Ratcliffe's going to have that edge on the inside, heading down the backstretch for the first time, and you notice the field right away getting into single file, and I think you should end up seeing this for most of the race here. You know, maybe some guys taking advantage if somebody else slips up, but other than that, I think these guys are, you know, if they're smart, they're just going to kind of settle in here and run this thing out for a good 60, 70 laps. But as I say that, already a pass for second place as your man on top of the points, Andrew Ratcliffe, wasting no time, gets around Justin Kirby. But Kirby answering back, going into turn number 3, it sends it down the inside, and almost kind of 3 different lines there for the top 3. But Ratcliffe all over the back of Tommy Ryan, and now Kirby almost tried to go a little 2-for-1 action there, but still side by side into turn number 1. And I don't think Justin Kirby necessarily, you know, wants to get to the lead. He just wants to try and fend off Andrew Ratcliffe as much as possible and let his teammate Tommy Ryan have the lead, but getting a little close there into turn 3 as these guys are scrapping it out pretty hard to begin with. And Jimmy, I think we're already getting our answer. These guys don't just want to settle. They want to get a little feisty here tonight.
Hey, you had Andrew boxed in just a little bit as you know, these early laps here, but you know, enough to kind of maybe hold them up, just kind of make them check up just a little bit, maybe make them burn up those tires just a little bit, allow Tommy to get out in front. But Andrew Ratcliffe is able to run that middle line there and keep his line, maintain second place, and Justin Kirby is going to fall back into third.
And he's right in front of his brother Brent Kirby, just throwing that out there. Just keep one eye on that right there. We need a picture-in-picture on just the Kirbys, and then you know, a picture on the leader. But either way, again, Black Magic Motorsports a good start here as they got their leader out there, Tommy Ryan, and then they're sitting right now 3, 4, and 5 right behind them. So good start by these guys as we got a bit of a train going here all the way through the pack now, as everybody maybe now just settling in a little bit, little battle back here for the back half of the top 10, just outside of it for 11th. Scott Bolster on the outside, Mark Thomas on the inside. He's going to slip up a little, give up track position, not just once but twice, as Alfred going to go around the outside.
Yeah, it's one of those things, if you know, you get that car to start sliding, you get that front right tire heated up, the car just does not want to turn, and it takes a couple laps to get the car back under control. So maybe that's what happened to Mark as he was trying to go for a pass underneath Scott Bolster, but he thinks better of it. Just kind of settles down, gets back in the line, and just kind of feel the rest of this race out, as there is plenty racing to go, as we're at lap 7 of 150 with Tommy Ryan out front over Andrew Ratcliffe. But as we're speaking, Andrew Ratcliffe going down to the inside, looking to take that lead away.
Yeah, the 24 certainly has got some good race pace. May not have shown it in practice or qualifying, but he's shown it now that the green flag has dropped in this 150 lap race. I mean, it seems like he's pretty racy here. I don't want to knock him for doing anything because he's proven me wrong, time and time again. It seems like there's so many times where he's jumped out to the lead early and it looks like he's just beating the brakes off that car, no pun intended, and you just wait for the fall off, and you don't see it. Has a big wiggle back there by JP Phillips, but good job saving it. And yeah, he's got a real understanding, a real feel for this car. But there's a lot of guys in this field that are starting to understand it a little bit more and more throughout the season. And hopefully by the end, if not here tonight, they can start giving him a run for his money.
Yeah, it's one of those things. You race around the same people, and you see the same people kind of in the, give or take, like the same order on the track for the most part. But you learn so much from each other, and it just, everybody can have the skill level just keeps going up higher and higher together. The person that's kind of not getting hit too much skill level or anybody to follow is the leader. So, because they're doing very well at that track. And a lot of people, obviously, they have their tracks that they favor a lot more than others. But, Andrew Ratcliffe's one of those guys who's got a well understanding of just how to get around most tracks, and right now he's showing how it's done right now. But it's really early in the race. We're only on lap 11, and we've seen Tommy Ryan come from the back to the front. I've called Tommy out in multiple races, saying watch this guy, and he's been there at the end and won these things. So don't look past Tommy, as he's just kind of playing the long game, as that's what he likes to do. But as we're talking there, the Kirby brothers are in a little bit of a battle there, as Brent is able to get by the 58 of Justin Kirby.
And you see Justin go way to the high side, give him plenty of room to his brother. Doesn't want any kind of beef right now. It's too early in the race to get involved in anything. But yeah, they trade positions, and I mean, like you mentioned about kind of seems like the same guys in the same spots every week. A lot of leagues, core included, try to do some different things to kind of shake up the order. Some leagues will invert the field. Some leagues, like in core, for some of them, we send the points leader to the back of the race, don't even let them qualify. But as much as you can learn some things from those fast guys as they're working through the field, if they're inverted or if they're just starting from the back, you can learn kind of how to race around them while they're around you. It's sometimes just better having them go to where they're supposed to be, qualify, get in their spots, and if they're better and they start running away, just kind of watch what they're doing. Watch your lines as the second, third, fourth, fifth place guys figure out why they're better. I mean, you're never going to get better running around guys that are as fast as you or especially slower than you. You're not going to pick up anything good. If anything, you're going to get bad traits, because you're going to feel like you're that much better, and you'll get that itch to want to just kind of break away from the field and really check out, when all that's going to do is just kill your tires, kill your whole game plan of racing a car. When you get out here and you have guys that are faster than you need to try and figure out how to keep up with them. And Tommy Ryan doing a great job right now, as is the Kirby brothers, is Brent Kirby now catching right up to the back of the 24. So maybe Ratcliffe gets to the lead here, backs it off a little bit, and just kind of pacing himself right now, trying to keep that car underneath him. And again, these guys just need to take notes, need to figure out what it is that 24 does week in and week out, so they can get better throughout the season.
Yeah, and and we're talking about just minor adjustments, Carl. I mean, it's just little things, whether it's just a little bit lighter on the gas, or get acceling a little bit faster. I mean, everything is so minute at this point. I mean, you've seen these guys qualify, and they were less than, from front to back, 17 drivers, less than a second apart. So they all have the talent and the ability to be up there and lead these things. We're talking about looking back at Jake Lesh and JP Phillips, as you see JP Phillips sliding around the corner a little bit, as Jake Lesh is going to use that high side, try to get around him.
Yeah, we talk about wearing the tires. Obviously, if you're driving the car in a little bit too hard, you're going to wear that right front tire out. But we mentioned about guys getting a little sideways, and it's going to heat up the tires. That's when the tires wear the quickest. I mean, it should go without saying, but if you don't know, with a tire that is extremely hot from you sliding around, if you go in the next corner, you're going to be sliding again, and you you feel like, okay, well, I'm screwed now until I kind of calm down, and I'm not going to get this car underneath me. But it's also every time you do it over and over again without just slowing down and letting the car get back under control, you're burning off, 5% sometimes per corner if you're going a little bit too hard. And that's really what you got to worry about in the long run. I mean, burning off the tires all the way down to 0%, if you're driving the car correctly and you're not killing it, you're going to get through a full stint on a fuel on these tires. But you slip up one time and then you don't give that car a chance to kind of recuperate and those tires to cool down a little bit, you're not going to make a full fuel stint. I'm not going to say that 5 times fast. You will burn that thing all the way down to 0, and you'll plow into the wall, and you don't have to worry about those guys around you anymore because they'll be flying by you.
Yeah, I really think the first 8 cars are taking notes from each other as they are nose to tail. Only either within 0.8 of each other. So, and they're battling up here for the lead here as Brent Kirby is going to stick that nose out to the front.
So, new leader here again, third lead change of the race, and it is going to be the 57 of Brent Kirby. But yeah, these guys still nose to tail from first all the way back to 8th before you have about a 1.5 second gap to Jeff Ryan back there in 9th position. And then that's where you have another little group of 3 with Jeff Ryan, Peter Brzucek, and Stuart Alford. And then 3 seconds back to Mark Thomas in 12th. And he's got Randy Yoakum right behind him. I believe it's a newer driver. Certainly haven't seen that name yet. And then you start getting a little bit wider the gaps. You get back to Scott Bolster, Scott Hillsman, Tim Glass. Looks like Eric Jeffers did not make the start of this race here. But I mean, we're 24 laps into this race, and it's, surprisingly enough, everybody's still within a half a track of the leader, and it's not something we've seen the last few times out here. It seems like we have a leader and or a lead pack that just checks out and really starts eating up this field. But I mean, 7 guys throw him under a blanket. Jake Lesh trying to hang on to the back of this thing, but he's starting to slip back just a little bit.
Yeah, he might have had to push that car just a little bit, trying to stay on the tail end of the lead lap, and maybe realize maybe he needs to save a little bit of tire. So I just, like I said, it's early on. We're at 25 laps of 150, and these laps are just clicking away as they're going around here tonight so far. But Brent Kirby out front, and it looks like Tommy Ryan is going to challenge Andrew Ratcliffe for that piece number 2, as maybe Andrew has burned up that right front tire, warmed it up a little bit too much, putting that number 24 out front. But as of right now, he's back down to number 23, or excuse me, P number 3, with Trevor Hunt on his bumper.
Well, he is once again the meat in the Black Magic Motorsports sandwich, as he's got 2 in front and 2 behind, and maybe that little bit of a battle in the beginning with Justin Kirby running around the middle line, the high line there, help wear his tires off, and then the battle to try and get the lead from Tommy Ryan. All those things just add up, and I'm kind of a little surprised. Normally, again, we see the 24 get out front, and he kind of maintains for a little bit, and then he starts checking out late in the run. But maybe we're seeing a chink in the 24's armor. He actually has worn out some tires a little bit, and the team from Black Magic Motorsports started to take advantage as they got Brent Kirby out front, Tommy Ryan second, and now Trevor Hunt right on the back bumper of that 24 looking for third.
It has put a little bit of pressure on Andrew. Can do many of things, especially help wear down that tires here, but it looks like Grady Gherkin is going to look to the inside of that number 58 and try to take that P number 5 away. See them sliding as they're coming off the corner just ever so little bit. And this right here is something that maybe Jake Lesh wants to see a little bit, as if he's struggling with his car a little bit. Of these guys battling, it's gonna bring him in just a little bit closer to those. They're gonna go around as they lock up. The 46 goes sideways, hold on to the brakes. Jake Lesh barely squeaks by that one. So we will be on our first caution here, lap 30, but that would involve Justin Kirby and Grady Gherkin, as we'll see what happened here. Oh, just a little bit of tap off the wall down to the 46. But you look at them guys hold them brakes, allowing the other drivers to get by. The 46 squeaking by and not touching that wall, but he's sure going to need some new tires. He slid down right there in the front of pit lane. So not too bad of a little incident there, but a little touch there. Carl was able to send them two boys flying.
Well, it almost looked like the 46 of Gherkin came off the corner, and it looked like he was going to clear himself, coming there on the front stretch, and decided to keep it down there, but maybe a little bit of net code, maybe about a foot of net code, because it looked like there was some phantom contact between the back right of the 46 and the front left of the 58. That's what sent Justin Kirby into the wall, and then it was just kind of a bit of a pinball off the wall and into the 46, which hooks both of them around. But some good wreck evasion one more time by the rest of these guys, especially by Jake Lesh. Wouldn't mind seeing an in-car view of the 7 as he tried to figure out which way he's got to go down that front stretch, and certainly chose right and went underneath the 46 to evade it. And well, it looks like we'll take a look at that right now. But I mean, these are the moments right here that can make or break your entire race right here in the beginning. I mean, not too much damage here by the 58 or the 46, but if the 7 right here of Jake Lesh gets into the side of this 46 and T-bones him, it's certainly going to be a big repair job for the team. But good job there by the 7.
Yeah, it was an awesome job there. As you can see, if we go back to live here, as the whole field has come down into pit lane. And it looks like, Mark Thomas is out front. Did he play a little bit of strategy there, as he is now in the lead? Some Mark Thomas getting a lap led here at Dover International, as
looks like
the rest of the field.
Stop for the 50.
Yeah, so
just get a little airtime for the caliber number 50 there.
you think he'd be all right with not coming up in the booth. I mean, he's up here like a couple times a week, so actually doing some broadcasting. This is our fellow C-Red broadcaster from over across the pond. So Mark out here doing a great job. I race with him on every Tuesday nights with the fire breathers and the Gen 4s, and we have a good time over there. So we have Mark getting a lap led here at Dover, and he's going to bring that number 50 in, get himself a set of new tires. So a little bit of strategy there for Mark, get himself up front and get a little bit of air time and get back out on that track.
I mean, he's from England. He wanted a little, his time in the sunshine. They don't get that much over there. So just trying to get what he can. But we are back double filed up once again. It looks like pretty much everybody throughout the entire field took 4 tires. Not surprised at all, as we are now on lap 33, and these guys, they seem like they had the cars under control, but I'm sure that this fresh rubber is going to be just loads of difference here as we're about to fire this thing off again. It is Tommy Ryan out front, Andrew Ratcliffe in second, Brent Kirby losing a couple spots on pit road. He's going to fall back to 3rd position. Jake Lesh all the way up to 7th, so not just a good wreck avoidance, but good job in the pits as well, moving himself up into 4th position. Then you got I'm losing him here. We got the 59 of Trevor Hunt, the 67 of Jeff Ryan, and we are back racing here again. A good start on the inside from Tommy Ryan, as he's going to easily clear the 24 going to the turn 1. And now once again a battle between the 24 and one of the Kirbys, but this time Ratcliffe going to easily clear, get down to the bottom, and we'll see if Ratcliffe can keep those tires a little bit more under control this run, as it's still side by side for 3rd. Lesh on the outside, Brent Kirby on the inside.
Yeah, so this is where they need to be careful. Obviously, the restarts are always tricky, as if guys get new tires, and it's an awesome feeling when when you start towards the end of that run there. I'm sure they're just starting to feel their tires, not have much grip, or have to adjust their car, and all of a sudden they got a fast car, lots of grip, and but don't take advantage of it too much, or you'll be in the back, or is it wearing out them tires too fast. But Jake Lesh getting kind of hung up on that outside, but doing a good job and just kind of maintaining his line, kind of let the guys go in the inside, and when you have the time to fall down into place, be able to get himself going again. But yeah, good pit stop there by Jake Lesh, but that being stuck on the outside. The 22 going down to the inside there. JP Phillips had to check up to collect himself as he got a little bit of loose.
And he's not the only one. Looks like Jeff Ryan and Jake Lesh, and now JP Phillips getting involved in an incident. And I was just about to say, I mean, we had the initial start, and you've seen everybody almost immediately, pretty much into turn one, going single file, and everybody was just calmed down. But you see right there, I believe it was the last lap or even the last corner for the 7 got a little bit out of shape up in the higher line, and he started losing a couple spots, and that right there looked like a case of the tires still not being cool enough to take that corner. Gets it loose, gets into Jeff Ryan, and then gets up into JB Phillips, who hasn't exactly had too much fun coming off the exit of turn 2 so far this race. He's been getting sideways quite a lot, but 3 cars involved. Doesn't look like too much damage for any of the guys here, so should be able to just get some tape on that thing and get that thing back out there. But it is Tommy Ryan, Andrew Ratcliffe, Brent Kirby, Trevor Hunt, Stuart Alford, your top 5, and then you got Gurkin, Porzuchek, Ulster, Lesh, and Justin Kirby, your top 10.
Yeah, just having an exciting moment here. First few laps here as Melinda was out there rooting on Jake as he got loose on that last one. And then Barry, thank you for joining again tonight. It's always good to see you out there. And just a friendly reminder. I know a lot of you guys do it already, but if you haven't liked and subscribed, please do so. Helps us here out at CRN, and helps the guys over here at UCRL get them a little bit of recognition here that is well deserved. There's also plenty of stuff going on around CRN. It's kind of like an off season though for CRN right now. Carl, this was a pretty light week.
Yeah, with Cora being in the off season right now, we don't have the 37 races a week that we normally do here. So we're down to most of the outside races here. This one being one of them here every other week. So at least we got this one going here. But then Dylan will be starting up with his broadcast on Wednesday nights, and that is going to be the Lucky Dog Racing League, as they're going to be doing, I believe, the late models starting tomorrow night, as they will be at. Looking at, I believe, the wrong schedule there. So I'll let Dylan handle that one, as they are going to be starting maybe not tomorrow night, because I'm seeing July 12th. But either way, Wednesday nights will be starting up soon with Dylan. Is he also going to have a dirt, I believe, a dirt late model series that's going to be starting up on Tuesdays as well. So we're going to be picking up the action there through the middle of the week, and the new seasons for Core are going to be starting up pretty soon, as we have the Premier Series presented by Pointer Motorsports on Sunday nights. And actually, I mean, instead of saying Pointer Motorsports about 10 times, send a big shout out to Kelly Pointer, as he has stepped on board to sponsor all the series over there at Core, with the Premier Series on Monday, GT Series Premier Series Sunday, GT Monday, ARCA on Tuesday, and a new dirt series on Thursday. But we are ready to go racing here once again. Big early start there from Tommy Ryan, and that's going to drag Brent Kirby right into a battle for second place with Andrew Ratcliffe, as they're going to go side by side for second place. Ratcliffe going to drive it in hard in that middle line and cut down in front of Brent Kirby, and he's going to have that position, as everybody now looks like they get a bit of a wake-up call on that last one, and they're going to settle into single file, but not for the lead, as Ratcliffe dives down to the inside, and he's going to go for the lead one more time. Brent Kirby now right behind him, looking 3 wide for a second. We are on lap 41, not 141, correct?
Yeah, and Brent probably just had a really nice run, and enough to point and put his nose kind of underneath there, and just kind of say, hey, I'm still here, I'm not going anywhere, and just kind of let up. Fall back in the line, and nothing happened. Obviously, just a little showing my nose. I want to get around too. So, but Grady Gherkin looking to get around Trevor Hunt, as he's all over that back bumper of the Trevor. So we'll see what Grady Gherkin can do, as he's looking in between the Brent Kirby and Trevor Hunt. It almost looks like that high line is starting to come alive, or especially with newer tires, Carl.
Well, good comeback here for the 46 of Gherkin, as he was kind of just on the outside of that top 5, trying to work his way up through there before him and the 58 of Justin Kirby got into it. But now the 46 coming alive here in this second run, and he's now up to 4th, where Justin Kirby's still stuck back there in 10th position. And now, looks like I was going to say, I thought Gherkin was maybe going to look to the inside there, but it's actually going to be Trevor Hunt looking to the inside of Tommy Ryan for second. And just enough room for Gherkin to slide down in there, and thought maybe for a second of getting inside of Trevor Hunt for second, but is the highest we've seen Trevor now, as he is up to second place and looking to try and keep up with that 24, or maybe even look for a pass.
Yeah, Trevor's is showing a lot of great speed, and been caught up in some incidents that probably he didn't want to be caught up in, but pushing here for a lead early here at Dover on lap 44. So it's Andrew Ratcliffe, then Trevor Hunt, Grady Gherkin, Tommy Ryan, Brent Kirby, Stuart Alford, and Peter Przuchek. Jake Lesh falling back to P number 8, Randy Yoakum up to P number 9, and Justin Kirby round out your top 10.
A little bit of a bobble mid-corner there from the 59, going to open up the inside for Gherkin. And he's going to take advantage down into turn number 3. Hunt going to fight a little bit, but ultimately fall back in line here into third. And I think for me, one of the toughest things with these cars is, you know, kind of how they seem to be a little bit more maybe rounded off on the sides, and getting close to the wall where you feel like you still have, you know, a foot in between you and the wall, and all of a sudden the wall just grabs you and either starts slowing you down or really, you know, kind of rips on you. These guys are doing a great job, and they know their spatial awareness. I mean, they're coming off these corners, and you see them right up on that wall, and there's very little room in between them and the wall, and that's a skill that certainly needs to be not just honed, but you need to have that confidence in knowing exactly, you know, how wide your car is.
Yeah, no, that's, you know, all part about racing. You know, sometimes getting around the track is pretty easy, but if you don't know, like, the dimensions of your car, it can deem difficult, especially when you're trying to run them close lines. So you can see these guys coming here, some of these cameras here, they're just right up against the wall, hardly leaving any room at all for you know, anything to be there. So, but these guys doing a good job. And back up front, it looks like Grady Gherkin is going to pull down to that inside of the number 24 to take the lead away from Andrew Ratcliffe. So I think we're up to about, oh, I got 5 different leaders now, Carl.
I believe it's the 4th different leader here. Well, if you don't include the Brit there, Mark Thomas getting the
that counts.
Lead under,
that counts. He got it. He got his left leg
down it. All right. It wasn't technically a pass or lead on the track, but we'll give it to him.
It's pit strategy.
Yeah.
Pit strategy.
Now it's Turner Burns' turn out front, and it is 1-2 right now for Turner Burn, with Grady Gherkin at the point and Andrew Ratcliffe in second. Then you have Trevor Hunt, Brett Kirby, Tommy Ryan, Stuart Alford now up into 6th position. You got Jake Lesh hanging out right there in 8th position yet, so a good job by him. But yeah, right there is 7th position. The artist formerly known as Spider-Man, and maybe the new Canadian smoke here. I'm still working on it. We'll feel it out, see how it is. But
I mean, he's back there with his fellow Canadian driver there, Stuart Alford.
Exactly.
So I mean, these guys are pulling
Canadian invasion here.
Pulling them Buicks up to the front, and right now sitting in that 6th and 7th spot.
Randy Yoakum up into 9th position, as that is his highest so far, as he started back there in 15th position, so up 6 spots. Stuart Alford, the biggest mover right now, is up 8 spots in 6th place. And then the rest of the field is pretty much guys that drop back. You got Justin Kirby back 8 spots after starting in 2nd. He's now in 10th. JP Phillips has you know, certainly had his ups and downs, his struggles coming off of turn 2 and then getting involved in that last incident. Finds himself right now just kind of hanging out just outside the top 10 in 11th. Jeff Ryan back there in 12th position after starting up in 9th, and seeing him running up a little bit further in the running order than just 9th early in the race, but getting involved in the incident as well, has wrapped him back here in 12th. Scott Bolster back here with Mark Thomas. Both these guys have just been, you know, kind of plodding their way through the race, which is typical fashion for kind of both these guys. They like to just hang out, let the race kind of file out, and then figure out what to do towards the end of the race. So Bolster in 13th, Thomas in 14th. And then another newcomer here to the series in 15th is the 33 of Scott Hillsman. And he's looks like he's just kind of, you know, out there getting his feet wet as well, just kind of hanging out back here with the old Harry Gant throwback paint scheme. Certainly a one that you, as soon as you see it, it brings back memories.
Hey, you ain't lying. It's fun to the cars that you see that on the first scene on the track. It was the first. Actually, Harry Gant was one of the first drivers I ever met in person. I have a card around here somewhere with a signature on it. So yeah, a lot of memories when you see the number 33 for me, as I was able to interact with that driver years and years and years ago. But definitely good to see the number 33 out there.
And finally, as you've seen there, in 16th position was Tim Glass, rounding out your 16-car field. Again, Eric Jeffers not taking the green flag here tonight, but bit of a shuffle up front here, and it is now Trevor Hunt making the pass for second place around Andrew Ratcliffe, and now Ratcliffe's got his hands full of the rest of Black Magic Motorsports as Brent Kirby to the inside. Little side draft action on the backstretch to keep the 24 there, but Tommy Ryan is right there on the back bumper of the 57. He's going to make that pass coming off of turn 4 as well. So in just a couple laps, the 24 moves from second all the way back into 5th, and now he's got to worry about the Canadian invasion right behind him, as he's got Alford and Wazuchek right there waiting to pounce.
Yeah, and this might just be a strategy by Andrew, knowing that the tires do wear off quickly, and he has the ability to be out front. He's got the speed to be out front, and maybe it's just some time just to kind of sit back in that car, just let these guys maybe wear off their tires just a little bit and take advantage of it. Maybe see how they get around, and maybe better his own line if he's having a little bit of issues. But yeah, the Canadian Vision is definitely looking to take over as Stuart Alford and Peter Pazuchek in that 6th and 7th spot. And back to Mr. Lesh there in that number 7 in the 8th position. And then Justin Kirby on his tail looking around to get underneath Jake. And then back there to Randy Yoakum, newcomer here to UCRL, as he got around JP Phillips. So in that 10th position. So doing a great job here, showing that maybe he's a contender, and maybe just kind of biding his time, just kind of learning how everybody else drives around here.
Looks like we got an answer on the whole Eric Jeffers situation, and unfortunately his PC froze and won't come back on. So hopefully that is just something temporary for him.
Like and, having a blown motor.
yeah, and it's and I guess cost ratio is probably about the same.
Right.
Because I mean, if you're talking about the PC blowing up on you, it's gonna feel like as big a hit as blowing your motor. But hopefully everything is all good for him.
Peter into the wall just a little bit. That's kind of check him up just a little bit, allowing Jake Lesh to go by. But Peter is able to maintain control of that number 82 as it continues his march forward, but it's going to slow him up just a little bit.
Certainly looks like Eric Jeffers won't be able to borrow any money from Jeremy Little on this one, as looks like Jeremy put down quite a hefty wager on Eric Jeffers, and not going to pay off here tonight, as that's beyond a long shot at this point. But we're on lap 62 here of 150. It is Grady Gherkin out front, but again, we've got a heck of a battle going on here. Tommy Ryan was able to get by the 24, but now it looks like Ratcliffe may be coming back alive here as we get a little bit later into the run, as remember, these guys at last pit on lap 31, so we are essentially double the length that these guys ran right now, as they ran 31 laps on the first run with these tires, but there was a couple cautions mixed in there as well. So getting to see what these tires really do now on a good 30-lap run. And you see these guys not just sticking to the bottom like they used to, as we've got, I mean, these guys are lined up like a 5 on a die right now, as we got a battle for the front. Trevor Hunt to the inside of Grady Gherkin. They're side by side. Brent Kirby just kind of stuck in the middle, and just wondering which, not sure what to do with my hands. And then you had a battle there briefly, as Tommy Ryan was on the middle line and Andrew Ratcliffe on the bottom, but now that sorts itself out. Tommy Ryan getting a bit of a run coming off the corner, but can't do anything with it, as it is now Brent Kirby side by side with Gherkin, as looked like Ryan thought about 3 wide there for a second, but he gets trapped up top.
And I hear some
tires, and
who is that?
Looks like it might have been the 08 of Randy Yoakum, but he does get it back going, so we are going to stay green here. We'll see if we can bring up the incident here in a second, but it looks like no damage to that 08 Pennzoil machine.
Oops. Go ahead and I'll rewind this real quick to kind of see the 08 catch this, because he definitely did get sideways just a little bit. And it looks like a little bit of interaction there with the 82.
Guys going off into turn number 1, and looks like the 08 just gets a little bit deep into the corner and gets in the back of the 82. Great job by Przucek catching it, and same goes for Joachim as he's going to catch it. Stay down on the bottom, let these guys go by and kind of shuffle themselves out, and going to lose a few positions, but we are getting dicey in the back here, and look who's rejoined the battle. Justin Kirby is back up here now, battling as he is in 4th place. Gherkin falls all the way back to 6th, and I mean, I believe this is now our 6th or 7th different leader, with Trevor Hunt out front. Brett Kirby in 2nd, Andrew Ratcliffe in 3rd, Justin Kirby in 4th, and Tommy Ryan
that's
in
a little
5th.
bump. That's a bump. Andrew Ratcliffe's going to go around on this one. That's going to bring out another caution.
Is going to bring out another caution here. I was about to say, this thing is going back and forth with the front 5 like we're at a super speedway here. It seemed like they were changing corner to corner, but we'll take a look back and see what happened to the 24 here, as he looks to go to the inside and just doesn't have it and has to check up a little bit, and unfortunately Justin Kirby gets into the back of him, spins him around. A little damage to the right rear of that 24, so we need to get that thing fixed up, and certainly going to need to throw some new tires in that thing. I'm sure everybody can't wait to say that at this point, as we were about 35, 36 laps into that green flag run, and now you will see the mass exodus one more time down to pit road. Trevor Hunt going to lead these guys down there, and I don't know if anybody's even going to stay out there to lead a lap this time. Like Mark Thomas said last time, I think everybody just wants those tires as soon as possible.
No, and our pit board's totally lit up with everybody's coming into the pits. So everybody's going to take tires, take advantage of being on an equal playing field. We're on lap 70, or this would be lap 70 here, as these guys are coming down pit lane. But Trevor Hunt leading the pack, going to be the first one in the pits. So, you know, is this something that you're thinking about all 4 tires because we're under caution, or you think people might take a 2-tire stop here, Carl? Maybe just get for some track position, or what?
I mean, you can, but you see passing is definitely an option here tonight, and I don't think I'd want to take a chance if this thing goes green for a while. I think I want 4 tires every time, unless it gets down to, you know, within the last 20 laps or so, you know, then we can start thinking about those 2-tire strategies. But battle off of pit road is going to go to Justin Kirby. So the man that we were kind of writing off for a while, kind of hanging back there in 10th, now is in the lead of this race. So nice little comeback here for the 58. Trevor Hunt going to be in 2nd, Brent Kirby, Tommy Ryan, Grady Gherkin, Stuart Alford, your top 6. Scott Bolster now up into 7th, JP Phillips, Randy Yoakum, Jeff Ryan rounding out your top 10. Then you got Mark Thomas in 11th, Scott Hillsman, Tim Glass are your 13 out on the track. Looks like Ratcliffe going to stay in there, get some damage repaired. So Jake Lesh is going to come out in 14th. Peter Przucek in 15th, and still waiting to see that 24 fire off, and now he is going to come out there, so taking as much time as possible to try and get those repairs done, especially to that right rear. He's going to come out here, shotgun on the field now in 16th.
Yeah, and it might be one of those cases, Carl, you know, just staying in, taking that repair time to get his vehicle, you know, fixed instead of taking that fast repair. They do get 1 fast repair here, and we're only almost at the halfway mark, but you might want to hold that in the bank if you think that the damage is not bad enough that you can get out there and at least get around the track at a decent clip and make up some time, as it seems like these guys are doing about 32 laps or so, and everybody's tires are starting to go, and some people have saved, so they're able to make some maneuvers, and things just change with the car, I think, at that point, and really you can kind of see it in the cars, and I think that's what's bringing out the cautions here. But right now we are on lap 71 up 150, and we have Justin Kirby, Trevor Hunt, Brett Kirby, Tommy Ryan, Grady Gherkin for your top 5, and Scott Bolster, JP Phillips, Randy Yoakum, Jeff Ryan, Mark Thomas, and we are back to green as Justin Kirby will lead the field.
And a good jump by your leader once again. This time it is Justin Kirby and Trevor Hunt going to go around the outside of Brent Kirby. And he's going to assume second place, as looked like Tim Glass may have been up there towards the wall. Maybe got into it in between 1 and 2, but the 24 already picking off a few positions, trying to make his way up through the field. But it is Justin Kirby, Hunt, Brent Kirby, Tommy Ryan, Gherkin, your top 5, as we are back to single file racing for the moment. But these guys have shown to be a little bit racy here tonight. I mean, only 3 cautions that Jimmy mentioned, and really those cautions were just, you know, kind of minor little details. I mean, it was one of them was the 08 just getting a little bit too, or maybe not the 08. I forget exactly what it was, but just getting a little bit too hot into the corner. And getting into Borzuchek, and actually that one didn't even bring out a caution. Now I'm thinking of it, that was just a little bit of a slide for both of them. But this last one here, just you know, barely a little bit of contact coming out of 2 from Justin Kirby into the back of the 24 Ratcliffe. But nobody really damaged up that much, and it means that we've had quite a bit of green flag racing so far in that last run, about 35, 36 laps. And we've still got everybody on the lead lap, Jimmy.
Yeah, it's good to see everybody in the lead lap, and I think we've only seen the field kind of spread out about half the track. So even with the slip-ups and slides, so these guys are doing an awesome job here tonight. Dover is an extremely tough track. You know, no doubt about that. I've had my fair share of races here, and it's like I said, it's fast, and you don't take care of on that right tire, you're gonna go off. You're gonna hit the wall more than you want to. So you know, they talk about getting your Darlington stripe. I mean, you can get your Dover stripe on here too. So but it is a very quick track and a lot of fun, especially in person, as it's kind of like a cereal or like a soup bowl or Carl. There's not a bad seat in the whole track.
Yeah, the problem is with Darlington, it can be a stripe. With here, it's usually more of an explosion. I mean, when you come off the corners, usually if you're going to hit the wall here out of 2 or out of 4, you're going to hit the wall. It's just, yeah, you're not just going to just barely slip up and graze the wall like you might at Darlington. And once you grab there at Darlington, it'll just kind of suck you in, and it'll take you a while to get off the wall here. This wall will throw you off. It wants no part of you whatsoever, and it'll definitely throw you right off the wall, and unfortunately usually down into some oncoming traffic. But right now, taking our biggest lead of the race so far,
wow.
We have not seen any driver step up and step out. But we're seeing it right now from the 58 of Justin Kirby. Maybe that little bit of incident earlier has that little fire under the 58, and he is out on a mission, out to 1.7 second lead over Trevor Hunt. Brent Kirby right there in 3rd place, Tommy Ryan in 4th, Grady Gherkin in 5th, and you got JP Phillips, Scott Bolster, Randy Yoakum, Jeff Ryan, Mark Thomas rounding out your top 10. The 24 of Andrew Ratcliffe threatening right now to move himself back into the top 10.
Yeah, Andrew's got to take his time. Obviously, he needs to get back towards the front, and you know, I don't know if his car, how much damage he has left. Can he maintain speed with everybody? But he's got to work his way up, and so he's got to do that kind of methodically here. You got half a race to do it, so you got to save your tires. You know, these guys can go to the end as far as fuel's concerned, but you know, whether they decide to do that with the same set of tires, I don't know. So we're gonna see what these guys decide here. As we are on lap 81 of 150 with Justin Kirby out front over Trevor Hunt.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the pattern of the race here, you would assume that there's going to be a caution or 2 in the second half of this race, but you have to drive like it's not going to be. I mean, well, you have to make that choice, I should say. Either you make the choice that you're going to drive it like there's going to be a caution, and you kind of throw a little quote-unquote caution to the wind, and just, you know, drive the tail off of this thing and be aggressive and get your way back up through the field. Or you go with the mindset that you have to assume that this thing is going to go green, and you're going to have to make these tires last to the end, not just last for another 30, 40 laps. So I think that's kind of where Andrew Ratcliffe is right now. I think he's kind of taking the ladder and just trying to be a little bit smoother and just patiently being back here. He's shown that he's certainly got more pace than maybe some of the cars he's running around right now, but doesn't want to make any kind of aggressive moves, especially not an aggressive takeoff like this 58 of Justin Kirby.
Yeah, Justin, no holds barred, just pedal to the metal. Let's see what kind of lead I can get out to, as he's out to a 1.8 second lead, and it might be at that time where he gets out far enough, and he knows that his brother's behind him. And I know we're always trying to light that fire and get the Kirby's intertangle, but right now Justin's just doing a good job, and just he knows that his brother's behind him, and obviously he got us back at the moment. So as behind him is Brent Kirby and Trevor Hunt following closely in third place, and you got Tommy Ryan, Grady Gherkin for your top 5. So and don't count out JP Phillips. He's been tangled up in a few incidents early on here, but has found himself back up into P number 6.
Well, 22 has certainly had some short run pace. It's just when he starts to have those issues coming off of turn 2 and getting a little bit loose.
Oh, and the 8.
He gets his tires angry, just like the 08 right there of Randy Yoakum does coming off of turn 4. And it just takes a few laps for the car to get back underneath him, and that's kind of where he loses that little bit of drive. But, I mean, you talk about Justin Kirby not having to worry because he's got his brother behind him. He's got his entire team behind him right now, as Black Magic running 1, 2, 3, 4. Doesn't really get much better than that. But side-by-side action now, as the 24 of Ratcliffe is going to move past Yoakum on the inside and move himself into the top 10, as Alfred also going to make the pass, and now Porzuchek looking to make the pass on the inside. You see that 08 just getting a little bit loosey-goosey on that back end, so those rear tires still not back underneath them. Bit of an unfortunate situation for the guy behind them. The 14th position car right now, the 7 of Jake Lesh, is just kind of hanging back here. He's about a second and a half, almost 1 3/4 seconds off of the back of the field here, and hopefully nothing wrong with the 7 of Jake Lesh, and just kind of waiting for the race to develop, maybe waiting for another yellow to get him back in this mix. But falling off the back here a little bit, but falling off is the lead right now. It was at 1.7 seconds. It's now down under a second, as we're about to have a little Kirby battle.
Yeah, Brent reeling in Justin, or it's just Justin kind of backing off, saving them tires just a little bit, let everybody kind of just take a breather, get some clean laps, as obviously we're getting around that time frame where people will start pushing and racing, and maybe a caution will come out. So save these tires and see how they handle. So I mean, we've already had the guys come in 3 times, so how many that also comes down to how many tires you got left. These guys only get 4 extra tires, or sets of tires, in the pits.
We down to now 0.8 seconds as Ratcliffe moves himself into 8th, so he's slowly starting to pick his way up through this field, but now he's got a big gap between him and 7th place of Jeff Ryan, as Bolster may be having some issues here on the front stretch going into turn 1. Certainly slow is the 45 here, no caution out, but seeing him dropping through the standings, we'll take a look and see what happened here. This was on the backstretch, just the pass that the 24 Ratcliffe made around him.
Everything
It might have been a lap later.
Yeah, I just try to pull up where he was getting past to see if there was something that kind of changed the way he was driving. But it looks like maybe just off pace just a little bit. Everything looks good there, Carl, for the fat rest.
Those few on the front stretch where he definitely lost 3 or 4 positions, and he was extremely slow. So not sure if he got loose or he got into the wall, or what the case was. But
Mark Thomas.
Right there, some bad net code right there.
Oh.
I mean, that was about a foot and a half, maybe 2 foot of net code in between the 45 and the 50, and unfortunately, a wreck that's going to send Scott Bolster into the pits, and he's already down a lap, going to go down a 2nd lap right now. So going to need some help to get himself back into this race, but I mean, really nothing he could do there, nothing the 50 could do either. They gave each other plenty of room, but our old friend Netcode had other things in mind. But The lead is no more, Jimmy, as get your popcorn ready, boys and girls.
Battle,
We got Kirby on Kirby battle for the lead. Will the bumper be used?
I mean, might as well just leave the camera here. Should I zoom in?
Well, I mean, normally,
Should I zoom in?
normally Friday is fight night, but I mean, throw down Tuesday, maybe. Here we go.
Gearbox? Can we watch the bumper hit the bumper?
Well, we're about to see it right now as it is getting tantalizingly close. But right now, they are fighting friendly, and Trevor Hunt just kind of reeling these guys in as well, as he is only back there about a half a second behind this battle, and you see him right there looking out the back of Brent Kirby. Tommy Ryan right there as well in fourth position. So this lead and these guys up here in the top 6 are starting to concertina back together, but the battle right now for the lead right now, Justin has it. Brent desperately wants it.
Does he?
Maybe not, but in my mind he does.
Probably like, just keep 1058 going, bro. We're doing good. The 24, I mean, Andrew Ratcliffe back there in P number 8, so working his way back up to the field, you know, does he have enough time? Was that little incident enough to hold him back there, allowing some of these guys to gain those much needed championship points that they need to make up some time here on Andrew Ratcliffe? But still plenty of racing left. We are on lap 98 of 150. Justin Kirby out front over Brent Kirby. Trevor Hunt, Tommy Ryan, Grady Gherkin for your top 5. JP Phillips, Jeff Ryan, then Andrew Ratcliffe, Stuart Alford, and Randy Yoakum rounding out your top 10.
We're gonna make it up some time. The 7 of that was too clean. I don't even want to talk about it. Hurts my feelings. But Brent Kirby in the lead here. But I was gonna mention a guy that's making up some time here is the 7 of Jake Leshy has caught Mark Thomas and made the pass there for 12th position back here in the pack, and seems like maybe he was just kind of holding back with that pace a little bit, trying to keep those tires underneath him, and he has now caught this pack and starting to reel these guys in. We'll see how far up he can make it, as we're at 51 laps to go, so just about at 2/3 distance, and new leader once again, and this is Brent Kirby now out front of Justin Kirby, as JP Phillips making a move to the inside. He's going to get past Grady Gherkin for a top 5 position here, as we are now 50 to go.
Yeah, 50 laps, that's nothing. I mean, these guys are doing 26 seconds a lap. Just this track is just so fast. Nice high banking here, and it's just, like I said, it's a lot of fun to go and watch in person, but even watching here on the virtual racetrack is almost just as good. So it's just, these guys put on a great show here at UCRL, and we've seen the side-by-side battles. We just seen a lead dissipate and get taken over, and now you're back up to a four-car battle here. My mouse is disappeared somewhere.
Yeah, might as well call it a 6-car battle, as the top 6 are only separated by 1.5 seconds. And we're starting to get close to that point where this is the longest green flag run of the race, as these guys last pit on lap 69 and now on lap 103. So these guys are well into this green flag run right now, and got to be feeling some of the pressure on these tires, and wondering how much longer we're going to go before we possibly see another yellow, or is this thing going to stretch out, and maybe some of these guys played their cards just a little bit too early. Maybe the 58 of Justin Kirby just burned it up a little bit too much, or maybe he thought, halfway through this run, let me just back off for a while and conserve a little bit and run back here with the pack, as Andrew Ratcliffe has caught Jeff Ryan for 7th position. So a good fight back here for the 24, and this is another reason why he's at the top of the point standings. It's not just all the wins that he's accumulating. We talked about the fact that he's just dominating with top 5s and top 10s, as well as the 08 a little bit slow here on the backstretch, and that thing certainly looks a little beat up on the inside for sure. We'll see if anything happened to Randy Yoakum here.
Yeah, definitely has some front left damage there. Let's see if I can catch where he did some.
It's kind of funny how SDK does things sometimes. I mean, we talk about it and joke about it with some of the road series where, say this person or that person, had an accident, and we'll go back and all it was somebody sliding sideways through a corner. But sometimes when there's a situation like this where it was an accident, it doesn't show anything. But you see certainly the 08's getting a little loose coming off of 2, hitting that inside wall, and could have been another caution here, but a good job keeping that thing straight, and a good job by the admins here keeping this thing green, as nobody else was involved in that one. But we are past our halfway points. We are now on lap 107 of 150, and these guys have done a great job so far. Only a few cautions to speak of, and those were even just minor. But it's about time to crank these guys up, enjoy them a little bit, give some cockpit cams, give some digger cams, and give you guys a little love to hear it.
Love to hear it. Nothing like the sights and sounds of Dover International Speedway there in Delaware, as Brent Kirby still has the lead over Trevor Hunt. And yes, this time, ladies and gentlemen, I did turn my mic back on. So you guys missed my commentary voice from the last race, so I apologize after that. But anyways, Brent Kirby has taken the lead and now stretching out just a little bit. Trevor Hunt is now in second. Justin Kirby's in third, Tommy Ryan's in fourth, JP Phillips in fifth, Grady Gherkin back in sixth place. Andrew Ratcliffe has made his way all the way back up to seventh place, Carl. So, you know, those guys up front, you know, are just probably keeping a close eye on that number 24.
Yeah, and I think they're probably keeping an even closer eye on Barney the flagman and just making sure this thing stays green, because even though Ratcliffe has moved himself back into seventh, he is quite a ways back. He's 5.3 seconds back right now, even from his teammate Grady Gherkin there in sixth place. So this is right where this front pack wants this 24, way back there and not in contention. But I mean, we had a bit of a spell and seeing the biggest lead of the race from Justin Kirby, and now, you know, just like Brent and Justin constantly doing to each other, just one-upping each other, as it's now Brent Kirby out in the lead, and he's starting to stretch out as he's out to a 1.4 second lead and still going. Trevor Hunt in second. Justin Kirby doing a good job, as you know, I thought for a little bit those tires might have been spent, but hanging up here and hanging out in third place right now. Tommy Ryan looks like maybe just kind of biding his time here in fourth. Haven't really seen any kind of charge yet from the 60. JP Phillips doing a good job as he is back there in fifth place. Grady Gherkin hanging on to the back of this little five-car train, as your leader Brent Kirby is trying to sneak away, but it looks like it's coming back down a little bit, down to 1.3 seconds right now, as these guys are starting to get into a bit of traffic here in the front, as Mark Thomas now a threat to go down another lap. Looks like he has made his pit stop already.
Yes, sir. Mark coming out there to be one of the fresher guys on the freshest car with the freshest tires out there, and now you're going to see the difference as you see Mark work his way. He just worked his way back, you know, around the leader, making himself only, I think it's 2 laps down, or is it 1 lap now? Let's see when he crosses the finish line. Yeah, he's
still 2 laps down.
Still 2 laps down. So, you know, you're going to go 2 laps down depending on where you're at on the track when you go in for tires to finish out this race. But we are on lap 124, Carl. So I don't know if any of these drivers that are up front are going to come in for tires.
I mean, if these guys can make enough fuel, I don't think there's any chance at all for these guys to come in. I think Mark Thomas was towards the back of the pack and didn't seem like he was doing much gaining on anybody, so I figured let me just enjoy the rest of this race, come in, get some 4 fresh tires on this thing. He did lead a lap early in this race, so he's got that under his belt, and get any kind of bonus points for that. But yeah, I think these guys are just going to try and stretch this thing out, as we've got 26 to go. It'll be 25 at the line, and a 1 1/4 second lead here for Brent Kirby, as these guys start to reel him in just a little bit. But yeah, I mean, you do see the difference in speed, and it would certainly be evident if we end up getting a yellow and see all these guys come in. But the leaders' fastest laps were, you know, 25.5 seconds, and right now these guys are struggling to keep it under 27 seconds. So a good 1.5 difference, and that's why you've seen Mark Thomas come out there and battle with your leader Brent Kirby there for a little bit before he just absolutely checked out. And you see he's already almost a full turn 1 and 2 ahead of your leaders. Next one on the list here to go down a lap is Peter Porzuchek, but he's still got a pretty good distance ahead of your leader. So we've got 11 guys on the lead lap right now. Brent Kirby, Trevor Hunt, Tommy Ryan, Justin Kirby, JP Phillips, your top 5. Grady Gherkin, Andrew Ratcliffe, Jeff Ryan, Stuart Alford, and Jake Lesh rounding out your top 10. But that lead is starting to get trimmed in here a little bit.
Yeah, and now, I mean, the racing, the close racing here is with the top 6. Actually, third through 6th. So, or 2nd through 6th. As these guys are battling back and forth here. So these guys have been close all race. They're close now at lap 128 of 150. And then you go back, the next closest battle is back there in 4P number 8 for Stuart, with Stuart Alford there trying to take over that spot from Jeff Ryan.
And we're we're getting close to about twice the length on tires that these guys have seen all race. Our previous longest green flag was about 35, 36 laps long. These guys have now been out on these tires for 60 laps. So starting to feel the strain right now for sure, but we've only got 21 laps to go, so one way or another we're gonna have to figure out how to get these things to the end. Justin Kirby falling back now a little bit as he gets passed by Tommy Ryan, and we'll see if maybe it is the time for the 60 of Ryan to start making that charge up and make a bid for this win once again, as he was your pole sitter here tonight. Brent Kirby up 3 spots from his start in 4th. Trevor Hunt up 4 spots from his start in 6th. So good job by all of Black Lancer Motorsports, as they are still 1 through 4 here on the field.
Yeah, it's definitely going to help their team standings out a lot for tonight, as Andrew Ratcliffe is back there in P number 7, as he was able to get around Stuart Alford. So he's got a long ways to go. 8 seconds back from, almost 9 seconds back from the leader. So just probably at this point here, either hoping for a caution or hoping to just finish off tonight with the best that he can to kind of minimize the his leadership points that he has in the standings here tonight. But Brett Kirby is definitely looking to extend the points the most, and then Trevor Hunt, Tommy Ryan, Justin Kirby, JP Phillips for your top 5.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a shame for Grady Gherkin here, as he's the kind of the odd man out here in 6th place and having to follow all of the Black Magic Motorsports up front, and JP Phillips there in 5th as well. As you know, he could be the one that would benefit the most from Andrew Ratcliffe having a bit of a rough run here, and now 6 seconds behind this group. So unless a caution comes out, the 24 doesn't look like he's going to be catching this group anytime soon. Gherkin came in 2nd place in points, and granted, he's 166 points adrift. There's still a chance. I mean, we still got a third of the season left here, and you know, again, a few good finishes from him, a few bad finishes from Ratcliffe, and he's back in the mix. But you know, right now he's only 1 spot ahead of Andrew Ratcliffe. 3rd place, Eric Jeffers, having the computer issues. He's not here tonight, so he's certainly not going to gain any ground on Andrew Ratcliffe. Jake Lesh has made his way back up into the top 10, so a good comeback here for Lesh a little bit later in the race, and he's got Jeff Ryan and Stuart Alford right in front of him as well, so he can pick off a couple more, and he is more in damage control right now. But 4th place in the points coming in, he's not going to pick up any points on Andrew Ratcliffe either, as he's still 3 spots right now behind him. And then you got Tim Glass there in 5th place in the points coming in, and he is back behind the battle right here, as he's back in 13th position. So I mean, as bad as this race is for Andrew Ratcliffe, it probably still couldn't have worked out any better, as he's only got really one of his closest competitors, and he's only right in front of him.
Yeah, I mean, that's, you know, great damage control as far as points go for Andrew for tonight, not allowing his closest competition to gain the most points. But Brent Kirby taking advantage of this, as he's out to a 1.1 second lead over Tommy Ryan, then back there to Trevor Hunt, then Tommy Ryan, and then back there to Justin Kirby. So right now only one of the Kirby brothers is on the podium, so yeah, that'll be a talk shop back in the hauler, I'm sure, later.
Yeah, it is Brent Kirby right now out to a 1.1 second lead over Trevor Hunt. His brother Justin Kirby back there in 4th, still hanging on and still doing a good job after running those very hot laps here in the beginning of this run, as he got out there to about a 1.7 second lead over the entire field. It's still the biggest lead that we've seen so far, but we're down now to 12 laps to go in this race, and I gotta say right now, Barry's pick out there is looking pretty good here, as he picked Brent Kirby earlier in this race, and right now he is delivering.
Yeah, something about Barry's picks. You know, he always does a really good job about picking who's going to finish, up to the front or even win. So, good job there on Barry, as he follows pretty much every single series here on CRN. And so kind of like our. I'd say I don't think we have we don't have a number one fan status, but if there is one, Barry is definitely up there as he shows his support on pretty much every single night and every single race.
I'd say it's you know, his picks are as good as they are from all those years being at the horse track, but he's not a millionaire, so I can't say his picks from the horse track have been that well for him. So either way, it's better that he's doing good here for these guys out here, and I'm sure Brent Kirby appreciates him getting chosen here, and he is the chosen one out here tonight as we have got 9 laps to go here as this second half has flown by, and these guys have been on a fantastic run here. And for the top 5, they are certainly hoping to see this thing go.
Ooh, Tim Glass into the wall.
But that was very close to being our incident right there. Tim Glass into the wall, and Stuart Alford just barely missing him coming off the corner. But yeah, this top 5, top 6 would love to see this thing go green to the end, and you know, I'm sure most of them will be happy with the position that they're in, but still some battling going on as Trevor Hunt, Tommy Ryan, and Justin Kirby throw them under a blanket as JP Phillips and Grady Gherkin have fallen back off of the pack here a little bit, and these guys are all chasing the man out front, and that is Brent Kirby in the 57.
Oh, Tommy Ryan got so close to the wall right there. And I think it's getting down to that part, Carl, where these gentlemen want to obviously in go time, and you know, Brent Kirby just needs to continue to run a very clean race to maintain his lead. But the race for second is really heated up as Trevor Hunt, Tommy Ryan, and Justin Kirby only separated by a half a second. So anybody's race here as we are down to 6 laps remaining of this 150 lap race here at Dover.
Well, the problem is, I mean, we're waiting for these guys to kind of ramp it up a little bit, and it is certainly go time at this point, but these guys are 75 laps on their tires right now, so I don't know how much go time they have left in the car. I mean, you can be great at saving your tires as much as you want, but you get 75 laps into a run, these things are going to be beat up, even if you were being gentle on the entire way. But you know, the guys that were just that little bit better right now have that little bit of an edge, and I think that's what you're seeing right now from the 57 of Brent Kirby as he's starting to stretch out that lead one more time out to a 1 1/4 second lead. It could certainly be because of the pressure that Tommy Ryan is putting on Trevor Hunt here for second. Justin Kirby just kind of hanging back there within reach and waiting for these guys to mix it up here a little bit as we got 4 to go here at Dover.
Yeah, and 4 laps, that's all that we have left, like you were saying, and you know, these will be over in just a few minutes here, folks. And you know, Brent has this pretty much in the bag as a win here tonight, but Tommy Ryan are definitely looking to try to take advantage of some old tires and trying to get Trevor to mess up just a little bit, show him just a little bit of pressure, and maybe Justin Kirby trying to sit in that catbird seat, and maybe those two get tangled together. And but as being teammates, I really don't see much of that happening, Carl.
No, I'm sure there's no team orders or anything like that, but it could be a situation where Tommy Ryan just, you know, go ahead, you know, no pressure right now, and you know, unless the 59 slips up, I think he's going to be content here riding in third as we got 2 laps left here. Seeing one of the few passes happening on the track, Jake Lesh moving himself past Jeff Ryan as he slides into 8th position. So again, nice. A good fight back here for the 7, as it looked like he was kind of mired in the back there in 12th, 13th position. But as the chips started to fall, he started to maybe pick up a little bit of pace here and move himself back into a good, respectable position. And
Peter into the wall just a little bit.
As we are on the white flag lap now, it is Brent Kirby out there to a 1 1/4 second lead over teammates Trevor Hunt, Tommy Ryan, and Justin Kirby. It looks like he is the better Kirby tonight. Both guys enjoyed a little bit of the lead, but the 57 is going to be the one that leads them to the checkered flag. Your winner here at Dover, Brent Kirby.
Yeah, good job of that for that number 57. And Trevor Hunt coming in second here tonight, and Tommy Ryan in third. So that would be your 3 podium finishes. And Justin Kirby, JP Phillips, Grady Gherkin, Andrew Ratcliffe will finish in 7th Jake Lesh, a great drive, finishing where he started back in P number 8. Jeff Ryan in 9th. Stuart Alford up 4 positions for the night in 10th. Peter Pazuchek will follow or finish in 11th, and Scott Hillsman, newcomer, will be in 12th and at number 33. Tim Glass will finish in 13th. Scott Bolster in 14th. Mark Thomas in 15th. Randy Yoakum having some incidents with that number 08 kind of getting in the wall late in the race. Will finish number 16th. And we hope to see Eric Jeffers next week as we can, or not next week, but the next race here for the Top Gun Series, get out there and continue to fight for his championship.
So it'll be real easy finding these guys in here and figuring out where to pull them from, as they're all from the same team. But I mean, what a great run here for the last couple of weeks. I mean, it seems like maybe the team here at BMM putting in some extra time and getting these practices in maybe a little bit too late in the season to make a run at the individual, maybe a little bit too late in the season to make a run at the team championship. But this will certainly move them into second place here for the Top Gun Cup team championship, and maybe inch them a little bit closer to turn and burn, and we'll see what happens in the final third of the season. But we'll start bringing up our drivers here for your top 3, and again, that is going to be, I'm trying to get them here, as it's going to be Brent Kirby, Trevor Hunt, and then Tommy Ryan. So we'll start now with your third place finisher, Tommy Ryan, and Tommy, just a kind of ho-hum race as you guys just seem to get into a line and maybe some bickering over positions here and there, but ultimately it just seemed like a lot of follow the leader here tonight.
Yeah, you just had to be careful and not. You could heat the tire up and it would just kind of lose grip, whether it be the right front or the right rear. So you had to be really careful, and you had to really strategically calculate your passes, because as soon as you got one of those tires really pissed, and you might be able to pass him on one corner, but the next time you go into the next one, either the thing won't turn in or you can't get the drive off. So it was just tough. I mean, I was pressuring Trevor really really hard there at the end. I was really trying to motivate him to go get Brent, but not enough laps and not enough tire.
And it just seemed like a little bit too late from a lot of the guys out here tonight. But it seemed like everybody was kind of content in the positions they were, and we kind of talked about it on the broadcast as it got down towards the end, the last 10 laps or so, and we said it's go time. But you guys, up until that point, your longest green flag run was about 35 laps or so. How pissed off were the tires after this 70, 80 lap run that you guys had to finish this thing on? I mean, was there anything left to even have a go time?
I think if you got, like, Brent was in clean air, so his front end was probably working better than mine and Trent was. I mean, he was a second up there, but it's just when I was in clean air, I could push it, but I was trying not to tear the tire up, so I was just trying to maintain some pace and not do anything really stupid. But yeah, it was a lot of follow the leader stuff, and it just really you just had to take care of the tire, like I was saying. It's just tough to do, and it's like a chess match, man. You just don't know what the other guy's done to his, and you try to go. I mean, I could have pitched the issue with Trevor, but like I said, I probably could have got around him, but the next corner I'd have been junk.
How was it dealing with the arrow? Was it just a little bit tough getting behind somebody? You're talking about how Brent was able to get out there in the clean air. Was the arrow push something you had to deal with here tonight?
Yeah, especially if you got on the right side of the car where that wake was. Like a lot of times, like I set up a pass on Andrew where kind of went to the outside of him and then kind of waited him to drift up and then try to cut across the back and up under him. And that seemed to work, but as the tires got really old, I tried that on Trevor there at the end, and he just loaded up the right rear, and I just could not get back to the throttle. I got a decent run down the back and got back to him, but nothing there. It was just tough to pass.
By the way, a good run for you and a fantastic run for the team over there. I'm sure you guys were chatting about the entire time, but 1, 2, 3, 4, really can't get much better than that. So a good job here, and it's a podium. Even though you start on the pole, it's still got to feel good to finish third. So anybody you want to give a shout out to or thanks to before we let you go?
Yeah, thanks to my sponsor, Northern Hydraulics, Northern Tool and Equipment, 811 DIG. My teammates, man, they put a lot of R&D, kind of filling us in. I don't get a lot of practice in, so I'm just pretty much going on what they're telling me. So thanks to them for helping me, keep pace and prepared by the time we take the green flag here. So, and thanks for Scott putting it on and you guys making us famous. So it's all good.
All right, so the slacker on the team finishing third here tonight. So good job picking up the pieces here. But yeah, a good run for you out there, and we'll let you go celebrate with the team.
All right, awesome, man. Thank you.
At your third place finisher here tonight, the 60 of Tommy Ryan. Now we'll turn to second place, and Jimmy, why don't you go ahead and take our second place finisher, the 59 of Trevor Hunt.
Hey, Trevor, Jimmy Carl, up in the booth. Copy.
Copy.
Hey, buddy. A great drive by that number 59 Black Dog machine here tonight. Pretty good battle here. You had some pretty decent long green flag runs, but until the end there, you guys were only running on about 31 laps. So what was your challenges in the race, and what basically resulted you here in finishing second place?
Long green flag runs again, and we prepped for this, and we just saw some stuff with the tires, and we knew that the first 10 to 15 laps were critical. If you didn't run your hottest laps during that period, you really could get it to hold on late, and it just paid dividends.
Yeah, obviously with your teammate right on your bumper there at the end, trying to give you some pressure to maybe get up there and get a hold of Brent Kirby there, but with your tires just that shot, would that being the longest green flag race of the race?
No. So the thing is, like about lap 30 to 35-ish, the tires would plateau, and you would be running upper 26s the entire time. And I knew that, and I let Brent get out a little too far. And so, I could push it, for a few laps, and then I'd heat the tires up and I have to back off or whatever. And so you just give it right back. We knew coming in, if it was going to be close there at the end, that whoever was out front was probably going to be the person to take it. There wasn't enough difference between the drivers to make it easy to pass or anything like that. So with the way you have to diamond the corners, you really would have to set somebody off. Either you didn't want to stick it in there in the center, right? Because they're going to just cut your nose off. So you'd have to set it up to get a good run down the straightaway. And so, I would run a few laps faster than Brent, and then he'd turn back, turn it up and just get it right back. So I think I chopped off about 2-3 tenths there at the end, but there was no way I was going to make up the second.
a little bit too late with your move to the front to get the win here tonight, but it definitely showed that you had the speed, and it was good to see that number 59 up front. But before, like I said, we just wanted to bring up here to say congratulations, and now give you a little bit of time to say thanks or anything that you'd like to say.
No, hopefully a win's coming soon. I'm getting these podiums fairly regularly, it seems. Just thank Brent and Justin, BMMS, Tommy, Jeff, those guys. We put the sessions up, we practice for a couple hours a week, and it pays off. Would also, because I got a tongue lashing last week, like to thank my wife for allowing me to do this and spend time on this hobby. I definitely wouldn't be able to do it if she didn't, approve of it. So,
yeah, good shout out to all the significant others out there, wives or whoever else is watching, because it does take a little bit of time. As like I'm a fellow racer myself, so not only do I like to broadcast, but I do like to get out there every now and then and run with you fellas. So I know how it is getting the tongue lashings every now and then. So again, thank you to all the wives out there and other significant others, obviously. So, but again, from CRN, just want to say congratulations on a second place finish here tonight, and we'll let you go celebrate with the rest of your teammate.
Awesome. Thanks.
At your second place finisher here tonight, the 59 of Trevor Hunt. And now finally, the man of the hour, and that is going to be the 57 of Brent Kirby. And Brent, you watched your brother Justin get out there to the biggest lead of the race at almost 2 seconds, and it seemed like nobody was going to be able to pull away in the first half of that race, but it got a little racing that second stint. And I'm guessing maybe you just burned off those tires a little bit. You were able to reel them back in, take the lead, and you started stretching out yourself. So I got to ask, not just tonight, but the last few weeks now, we've really seen the team over there at Black Magic Motorsports start to kind of turn a corner and win 2 out of the last 3 races now. But you have the entire team up there towards the front and battling not just for the win, but for the top 3s. So what is it? What's going on? What's in the water over there? Is it a little black magic? Do I say?
I don't know about all that. I think we're just the way we've been racing, I think, was kind of maybe coming across the wrong way. So we switched it up a little bit. So going after a little bit more give and take, not over pushing boundaries, giving as much room as we can. Like Scott says, it's drive like you own it. And, back when we were doing this 10-ish years ago, I hated bringing back cars on a wrecker. So I think, like I said, I think mindset is the biggest part of it.
Well, it's certainly paying off for you guys. I mean, you're constantly, it seems like, in the hunt for wins and or top 5s, top 3s, and a good run out here tonight as you had the entire team out there in the top 5 pretty much the entire race. So what was it on that last run? I mean, I talked to Tommy a little bit about it. These tires had to hang on for a little over 80 laps in this last run. So it seemed like you were maybe able to conserve those tires a little bit better, and maybe that little bit of clean air helped you out getting that lead and checking out.
Yeah, managing the heat cycles in the tire as it was going through the run, I think was the biggest difference. I had a car that was in my hands that drives exactly the way I needed to at Dover, so I got kind of a lucky break there, this being a fixed setup thing. But had I built the car myself, this is pretty close to how I would have wanted it. So I was very pleased when we started driving it after Scott released the setup to everybody.
So you guys do get the third team win on the season, but your first win on the season, and we've got 5 races to go in the schedule. Is there any other ones that you're particularly looking forward to, or do you feel like this team is clicking right now that you guys have a chance every week?
I think we always have a chance every week. The strength of the team that we have, we just, between bad breaks and some knuckleheadery on my part earlier in the season, and I think we kind of took ourselves out of the team shot for sure. So I think we're pretty much playing for second place there, and I'm pretty sure Andrew's got the points championship. Maybe not necessarily sewed up, but he's getting close. And he's always a threat. So every week he's just, the guy is typically never bad. So tough competitor. But I think
tonight would have been probably the best shot to gain points on him, and even still he finishes in 7th place. But I do like the knuckleheadery. I'm a big fan of that word there. I'm certainly gonna have to use that. But yeah, I mean, like you said, you guys certainly turn a bit of a corner here and change the mindset, and it's definitely paying off. So we will we'll see what the team has in store, and see if anybody else on the team can grab another win, or maybe you can grab a second win here before the season ends. But while we have you now, anybody you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Black Magic Motorsports, baby. Tommy and the boys, they're very helpful with the experience. With Trevor, Justin, mostly Trevor and I took a lot of years off and then coming back, and we've been back a little over a year now, I think it's been, give or take. And having the experience of guys that haven't stepped away has really kind of closed the gap in the curve for what we were missing. I mean, Tommy's really good. I mean, really good.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised to not see that 60 make a run there at the end, but I think you guys just kind of played out those tires in the right spot, and it was kind of really who had enough tire at the end to take that lead and have that clean air, and that was you here tonight. So congrats on the win here, and we'll see you in 2 weeks at Pocono.
I appreciate you, fellas. We'll see you then.
that your winner here tonight, the 57 of Brent Kirby, and that's going to put a bow on it here tonight. A great run from these guys here at Dover. Again, it's a track that can certainly get a little sketchy, but a few little slip-ups from the guys and a couple little bumps that ended up being cautions. But I mean, realistically, in my eyes, no cautions here tonight. There was nothing too bad. No cars that left here too beat up. And I mean, you know, some guys pitting there at the end, and some guys just you know, really kind of falling off the pace. But other than that, almost the entire race we had just about everybody on the lead lap. So all in all, just a great showing by these guys.
Yeah, I mean, they just show the quality of drivers that's, you know, within the league, and that and they pride themselves on that. And they did a great job here tonight. The 17 drivers that were out here. You know, unfortunately, Eric was not be able to make the track tonight. The computer problems, and you know, I've been there, so at least maybe he could come back and at least watch the race and see what he missed. But Brent Kirby, Trevor Hunt, and Tommy Ryan, congratulations. And then you have the rest of the field is Justin Kirby, JP Phillips, Grady Gherkin, Andrew Ratcliffe, Jake Less, Jeff Ryan, Stuart Alford, Peter Pazuchek, Scott Hillsman, Tim Glass, Scott Bolster, Mark Thomas, Randy Yoakum, for the rest of the field. And you know, these guys just do a great job, and you know, I look forward to, you know, the next race here for the Top Gun Series.
Yeah, and that next race is going to be in 2 weeks, as I mentioned, going to be at Pocono. So we go to a track that we go from a track here that Jimmy's been to several times here at Dover to arguably his former hometown track with Pocono, and I'm looking forward to Pocono. That track is one that certainly separates the drivers from the guys that just just like to get on these tracks and quote unquote turn left. I mean, it's one that is it can be a fan favorite. It can be one that you just absolutely hate. It's I mean, it's a road course as an oval.
Yeah, the different corners, and you know, Scott has his hands full trying to get this car, and basically these cars set up to where, you know, it's drivable for all the drivers. And so some people I think are going to like the setup, or they're not. So with each corner being different, it's a really challenge on the person making a setup, and that would fall on Scott Bolster. So give him a good shout out there, as he usually does a fantastic job giving these drivers a car that, you know, is very drivable, and for them to have the competition, just like here at Dover, where we had, you know, multiple leaders, 2 wide racing, you know, the top 5, top 6 within a second of each other. Just all in all tonight, just awesome racing.
So again, that's going to be next week, 70 laps on tap at Pocono. But yeah, we had a little bit of a spell of short tracks in the middle of the season, and now we get a spell of northeastern tracks, as we got Dover here tonight, Pocono in 2 weeks, and then 4 weeks from now is going to be at Watkins Glen. But that is going to do it for us here tonight. If you haven't done so yet, please make sure you like and subscribe to the video here. Help these guys out, help get their league out there. And if you're wanting to join, make sure you get in touch with one of us. Get in touch with Scott Bolster or any of the drivers here to get you on the track with these guys. A lot of good quality drivers out here, and you can learn a lot from them. Certainly some races here left in the season that are still unsponsored as well. So if you're looking to help these guys out in a monetary fashion, get in touch with Scott Bolster as well. But for myself and Jimmy at the Monster Mile, we'll see you at the track.
Peace.